Hey guys, LPB here, coming at you with a quick video. This one's going to be on the craziness that's going on in Europe right now, and where I foresee things going from my perspective. If you are not subscribed to Bear Independent, I strongly recommend you go check him out. He does have a Patreon. If you feel compelled to do so, I recommend you subscribe to his Patreon. I myself am, and there is a lot of great content on there. This is not a sponsored video by Bear. He's a good friend and he's helped me out, so I'd like to return the favor. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, kind of thing, right? That's what we're all about. So I was watching a video that he had done. If you've seen it, feel free to comment down below. It's his, I think it was Bear Brief. He does a daily brief. So definitely check that out. It's amazing news. This guy's like probably the best preparedness channel that I've found so far on YouTube. He's kind of what inspired me to start my channel, where he says go out and do. Where's your stuff? Where's your content? Oh yeah, you kind of call to action, but I'll go through that later on. So what I see coming from growing up in a military family, I myself have not been in the military, so let's get that clear right now. No stolen valor here. Talking to people in my family that still are in the military, this is not like first-hand insider information. It's just from their experience and literal decades of military experience, almost half a century in some cases. My dad, for example, who was in the Air Force towards the end of the Cold War, Gulf War era, got out just after the first Gulf War, or retired, I should say. That's a long experience. Anyways, looking at the strategic spots in the Ukraine from my perspective, and based on what I know of military operations that have just been passed down from generation to generation, the best way to understand tactics is to study history. From what I've realized, Kiev, which is the capital of Ukraine, sits on the Dnieper River. I think that's how you pronounce it. Dnieper River. If you look at Operation Market Garden during World War II, if you know anything about history, you know how that went down. Best way to hold a bridge is from both sides at once. They're saying that, most people are saying that when Russia goes, because they will. Look at Kazakhstan right now. There you go. They will. It's a matter of time. I personally, if I had to give it a time frame, definitely before the end of 2022, I think they will go hot. I think it'll stay localized. I think they're going to take up to and just past the river that I previously stated, because in order to hold a bridge, you got to hold it from both sides. You hold it from one side, it's not going to work. So sure, you can hold up a river bank or what have you, but I don't foresee them stopping when they get to that riverbank. Sorry guys, I'm just turning here, so I got an hour and a half long drive home from work because I came out here my people. Praise Yah about that. Anyways, sorry, you guys kind of riding me a little bit too close for my liking. Anyways, I think they're gonna extend past that river, probably just within artillery range, tubed artillery, not rocket artillery. So you're probably looking at 40-50 kilometers at most, like at the extreme, on the opposite side of that river. I was reading an article that the Excalibur shell fires out of the 777 155 millimeter howitzer, which is a U.S. howitzer system. Canada does have a couple of gun systems like that. Just hit its first target at 56 kilometers, I believe, which is impressive for tubed artillery. I think it's accurate to within 4 feet, so that's impressive. Then again, they can tell what time you're taking a crap from about 20,000 feet in the air, but anyways, space in some cases. Yeah. Sorry guys, got a little bit sidetracked there. Yeah, so I think they're going to take and hold just up to their artillery range. Of course, you don't want to extend your forces too far where you can't cover yourself. And I think they're going to hold it there. Annex it just like they did with Crimea. And that's where that's going to end up. What do I think the NATO response will be? Ukraine's got a decent, well, better than ours size-wise, military. Ours, me speaking as Canadian. I think they have like 20 divisions or something like that, which is impressive. I think that for the most part, Ukraine will fall. I think they will be broken up, as I said, about 40 to 50 kilometers past the Dnieper River. And I think that once they hold that, I believe Russia's going to sue them for peace. Because Russia doesn't want to screw with NATO, right? And I think NATO is going to have a bigger issue on their hands than Russia. And I'll get to that later on. I read somewhere that, can't remember which site it was, I wish I could remember. Joe Biden basically has hinted that he won't get involved with Ukraine if it goes hot with Russia. I don't think that's true. I think there'll be enough call for them, at least in the proxy sense, to get involved, whether that's arms or training or advisors or something. There's already that there from pretty much every country that's in NATO. Canada does have a very large presence both in Ukraine and Estonia. I believe we have F-18s, CF-18 Hornets in Estonia and troops. I don't know if that roadie's been done yet or not. So there's that. The Balkan states, I think, is where you should keep your eye on. Estonia, Latvia, Belarus, all those Balkan states. I think there could be placed there. However, NATO would not let that one happen. That, I think, there would be a huge step in. So that's where I see this year going in Europe. Again, that's just my perspective. In terms of equipment, the T-72, which is pretty much the mainstay of, well, I guess not anymore, it would be the T-80 and the T-90, which is pretty much the backbone of the Russian armor divisions. It's a decent tank, but it's still just an upgraded T-72. It's not new technology, and honestly, look how fast the Americans tore the crap out of the Iraqi army during the first Gulf War. It doesn't stand a chance against Western armor. Soviet tactics just don't work. Do I think the Western nations, NATO, could fight like that still? Given the fact that we just got out of a 20-year counterinsurgency war. Yes, but I think the doctrine is kind of switched to the threats that they were facing. Again, I don't know. I'm not in the military, so I can't speak facts on that. It's just my opinion. Judging by everyone who I know who is in the military, a lot of their focus has been on counterinsurgency. Obviously, yes, they do still train to fight near-peer threats, and obviously far past peer threats, force-on-force engagements with similar-sized units and all that. Yes, they still train that, obviously. So that's a given. I just think that their experience is more so in counterinsurgency, which, if you know how to beat them, you know how to do it better, right? So I think that the biggest goal they have, or the biggest advantage, that they have, is to have the knowledge on how to train insurgency forces, proxy forces, resistance forces, whatever you want to call it. Like the French resistance during the Second World War, the Dutch resistance, all that, okay? Saboteurs, if you will. I think that's probably what would happen. I feel like they would go proxy. That whole crush the head of the snake and the rest goes into chaos saying is true, but unless you crush the head of the snake fast enough, which I don't think Ukraine themselves have the ability to do, in all honesty. They could have one hell of a go at it, but I don't think that they could do it. They definitely make the Russians hurt, that's for sure. They would make the Russians hurt, they'd make them hurt bad. But as you saw in Afghanistan, both with the Russians when they invaded, and NATO, essentially it was NATO, when we went in, the long drawn out fight is really what caused it. In the new Red Dawn movie, if you've seen that, which if you're a prepper you probably have, there's a saying that Jed, I think it was Jed said it. Anyways, he said, even the smallest thorn in the dog's backside or something like that can drive a big dog crazy. That is very true. That's pretty much what's going to tie up resources when the Russians do go. It's those small guys that pretty much have had enough. They want their country back. They want their freedom back. They're sick and tired of seeing their kids starving. Stuff like that. That's what's gonna really push the Russians to leave. If they do. Now, they could just deal with it and what have you. But that's just personally what I see happening from my point of view. After that, I'm going to do a part 2 on that, where the reason why I think that the U.S. isn't going to get involved with Russia right away is they know they can't fight a war on two fronts. Look at Germany, they tried and they failed. Now, I'm not comparing the United States to Nazi Germany. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just comparing tactics and history. reason why I say I don't think they can fight a war on 2 fronts is because I think they're going to have to fight a war on 3 fronts if they do that. I think that they could probably hold off a war on 2 fronts without implementing a draft. I think they can most definitely do that. I don't think that it's going to be as much of a slaughter fest as what people think it will be. I think it'll be pretty even, in all honesty. I personally think the United States is holding out, allocating forces to Europe because they're going to have bigger problems in the Middle East and in Asia. We're going to play a little game called Axis and Allies. That's actually a board game. So no copyright infringement there. I think it was a computer game too for a while. Anyways. So Axis, World War II speaking, was Italy, Germany, right? Japan. Anyways, so in this sense, I think Axis forces, okay, we'll call it World War III because technically it would be World War III. Axis-wise, you're looking at, I'm going to call it Soviet Union 2.0, Russian Federation, Belarus, Kazakhstan, China, Iran, North Korea, Pakistan, which, caveat to that, I think Pakistan is going to be a swing player. I'll explain what I mean by that. So we'll call them gray axis. Previously stated, so Russian Federation, Belarus, Kazakhstan, China, red axis. So those are your hard and fast initial axis players. Allies, I'm thinking South Korea, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, the United States, Canada, NATO, okay? And for the swing powers, I'll do a little rundown on each one of these. So I think that the Indian Armed Forces are going to be swing. Initially, I don't think they're going to get too involved. I think they're going to bolster their defenses to the north where they border with China and that mountain pass. India and Pakistan have had substantial disagreements in the past. A hot war there would be nuclear, in my opinion. That's just where I think that's going to be. So that's why I'm saying Pakistan is going to be probably neutral. If they do pick a side, it would definitely be Axis to assist the Chinese in dealing with India, because India themselves has a very strong military, very large military. The only problem is that mountain pass is their only land route in, and I don't quite think they have the airlift capability. Fixed wing, because the rotary wing, I don't think is going to be able to get through those mountain passes very easily. I think the altitude is just too high. So unless they go through Pakistan, I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, I think there'll be more so of a defensive and naval strikes, probably beach landings into Pakistan if that happens. Obviously, Pakistan will be Axis at that point. Asia-wise, or that's still Asia, but like China, North Korea, they're not one and the same. I shouldn't say that, but tell who supports who. Russia and China, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. That's where I see that one. They pretty much ripped off the Su-27 and the Su-33, J-10 and J-11 respectively, and then the Su-30, which is kind of the MK, which is more of a strike base, which is the J-15. You do have domestic versions of basically the Jaguar, which is the J-9, Flying Leopard, I think it's called. The J-10, which is IAI Levy ripoff, which is actually probably the biggest threat that they have, in my opinion. Again, just my opinion. The J-17, Pakistan also operates. That's a decent threat. Anyways, back to the Axis powers, or the Allied powers. I think obviously Taiwan. I think that's what's going to be the powder keg, so to speak. That's going to set everything off. It's definitely going to be Taiwan. What goes on there is going to be a bloodbath, to say the least. That island is going to end up being Iwo Jima 2.0. So that's just what I foresee happening. Moving past that, Philippines, I think they're going to late game be allied. Malaysia, again, late game be allies. Singapore, again, late game be allies. Once they start seeing the Chinese turn tail and run, I think they are going to join the allies for a counterattack to gain a lot of their land back that I foresee people taking. North Korea is going to cease to exist. I think they're going to fuse with South Korea. That'll be a short-lived one. They're basically going to be lambs to the slaughter, and China's going to need them to take out every single person they can, because that's what they're going to use them for. They're cannon fodder for the Chinese. They're just a buffer zone, a reaction time. That's it. North Korea has a decent military. Do I think they have nukes? I believe they do. Do I believe Iran has nukes? You bet your ass they do. Now they say they don't, but they just gifted North Korea SA-2 SAMs. Now, yeah, I think it was 60 batteries worth that they just gifted them, which is pretty impressive, to say the least. They are out of date. They're late 70s era missiles, 60s, 70s era missiles. Nothing much, still enough to take it to B-52, transport, stuff like that. Don't think those missiles are agile enough to deal with modern fighters, and if they are, the F-16 and stuff like that, like the F-18, I'm pretty sure they can defeat that pretty easily. Sheer volume of missiles in the air, though, might be a problem, so that's something to factor into. In terms of initial moves, I think China is going to push into Taiwan while simultaneously engaging Japan and aiding the North Koreans in an attack on South Korea all at once. Sheer shock factor so that they can't join in a combined effort. I think they might do special forces strategic hits in the Philippines and stuff like that as well, just to try to get some of the infrastructure out of there. Guam, I think, is going to go bye-bye. I think there will be a nuclear exchange, personally. I don't know if the term limited is good, but I don't foresee it being all-out nuclear war, because war in its essence is the control of resources, right? They want Taiwan for political reasons, but there are resources all over the place in that area that China could use. I see that going, I think that the main players in the Asian theater, as I said, the initial ones there, Canada, United States, Australia, New Zealand, I think those are going to be your big ones. Keep in mind, again, smaller nations that are over there, Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, Taiwan, North or South Korea, Japan, those are all going to be Pacific theater. I don't think that Canada is going to get too involved in Europe. We don't have a big enough military, unless, again, they start drafting people, but I don't think that'll go over too well here. I'm not going to get into my opinions on that, because I'll probably get my account blocked. Just leave it to the bottom end of it, is I don't think that enough people give a shit about this country anymore to even bother, which is sad, but I'm not gonna get too ranty on that one, because that's a whole video all in itself. I myself am not one of those people, but life circumstances just prevented me from joining the military, so it is what it is. So that's where I see that going. I'm going to leave this video out about that. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I do have a Patreon. I'm still trying to figure out how to upload to it. I've been kind of busy. You can check me out on Instagram. It's OPB_survival. Give me a like and follow there. I'm working on launching my own store, online store, for some of the equipment that I use, some of the stuff I've used in the past that I like that I don't currently have anymore. It'll all be on there. The link's there. It's not currently working. I'm just trying to get the ball rolling and get some stuff going. Hopefully by the end of this year I'll have that up and going. So just stay posted for that. You can check me out on BitChute. I don't think I've uploaded a video there yet. There will be more content going there. Again, Patreon, Rumble I do have. I'm pretty sure it's Ontario Apprentice Bushcraft. I haven't uploaded much there yet. It's all progress. It's going to be being done. Again, you're going to be seeing a lot of truck talks. I got an hour and a half drive to and from work every day to be making videos. So, and it's all boonies. So I got lots of time for it. So keep posted. There's going to be lots of content coming. Mostly truck talks on topics. Come summertime, I would like to be doing more videos, bushcrafty, outdoor gear review, stuff like that. Stay posted for that with the little one coming along. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out and do everything, but I'm going to try. One day, hopefully, I can get the little one involved in some of the videos, make some star appearances, go camping with Dad. Look forward to doing that. That's some of my best childhood memories. So, again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can check me out on all those platforms. Thank you for watching. OPB out.